Hey, welcome to another episode of Marketing Ugly. We're doing it inside today instead of outside on the porch of pain because it's getting to that time of year in Florida where air conditioning is our friend, rising energy costs are not, and it rains every afternoon. So here we are sitting on the couch. I just had Magnus, the marvelous marketing wonder mutt, with me. But he has decided to go do something else. But I want to tell you a little bit. I was so proud, proud father. I talk about my oldest child, my oldest daughter, and some things that say. Now, of course, you got to understand, she grew up around marketing and sales. I actually trained her with marketing and sales, as did my ex-wife when she was young. My ex-wife, of course, learned through osmosis because she was around me and I was always listening to programs and listening to, figuring out ways to make money and et cetera, et cetera. So she kind of caught on to some of the stuff. By the way, if you guys are looking for somebody to edit your direct response copy, she's very good. But that said, so Morgan decided she was going to be a copywriter a few years ago, and then she decided that she wanted to focus on something. She decided she wanted to do something else. She got into serving, and she loves it. So if that's what she likes, she's 20 years old. What the hell do I care? Let her go have at it. And if she decides, my only thing is, if that's where she decides she wants to stay, then I think that she should stay there and really excel. And she has the skills to excel, as you will see shortly. So I have a list of 15 things. Her and I were talking about what she does to get better tips. And she actually has given this a lot of thought and tested different methods of getting more tips. And I was really impressed talking to her, so I asked her if she'd make me a list. Oh, who's that? Somebody just gave me a love reaction, so thanks. Anyway, she made a list of things that she has tested and ways that she has figured out of giving more tips. Now, I'm going to be doing a full-blown training on this because it's a marvelous, marvelous list. And I'm going to, and we may even do a training for servers, a low-cost training for servers to help them make more tips. But in the meantime, I just wanted to share a couple things on her list. Which one was it? Here, let me see. Now, this one is not revolutionary, but it's still great. So she always recommends the second most expensive meal. The first looks like she's just trying to get higher tips. So, okay, that's not revolutionary. That's pretty standard. I mean, I think if you talk to 100 servers, they may say the same thing. But here's the important thing. She's thinking about it. She's 20 years old. She's thinking about it. And she's noticed that by recommending something that's less expensive, she gains more trust with her, in this case, her table, her customers, but it could very easily be a prospect or anything else. So she's doing things to create a stronger bond and to create more trust. If the table is joking or friendlier, so she says that tables are one of two ways. They're either very professional or they're very joking. And if they're professional, then she gives them the yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and just works the table that way in a very distant, professional manner, but she doesn't interact with the people on a personal level because that's what they look like they want. But if the table is interacting and being very personal, sorry, I hope you're not getting motion sickness. I'm not a great cameraman. But if they're being friendly, then what she does is she says, okay, you guys want some rolls, right? And then she goes and gets the basket of rolls and brings them to the table. And then she says, what'd she say? She has scripts. She has fucking scripts. She's a 20-year-old server. Now she's had the advantage of growing up with me, and I've been a script guy my whole life. But I bring them and tell them that I had to fight another waitress for them. And if the order is wrong, she sighs and insists on getting a manager and a new meal. Now, this is interesting for two reasons. The first thing, she tells him she had to fight the other waitress for him. And I said, you should tell him that you had to choke the other waitress out. And she said, no, because that would be too far. Some people would be offended by that or be put off by that. So instead, I said, we have to fight the other waitress. And I let them fill in the actual image of what we were fighting. Was it an argument? Was it a fist fight? Whatever it was, they fill that in their own head. I'm not going to fill that in for them. And I was just blown away because she's 1,000% right. I use that kind of thing in copy all the time. And she is 1,000% right. She gives enough information to create a picture, but then then the customer fills in the picture themselves. Next thing. What'd she say here? Here's another thing. The going and getting a manager if the dinner was wrong. So what she's realized is if the dinner's overcooked or something was wrong with it, and she goes to the and she says, oh, well, let me get a manager and we'll get that taken care of for you. And they say, no, don't worry about it. We're fine. Are you sure? Because it's not a problem getting it taken care of. No, really, it's no problem at all. Let me we're fine with this. This is fine. I'll eat this. What she realizes is she gets lower than her standard tip in those situations. But if she demands that she goes and get a manager and get him a new meal, then she gets higher than her average tip. Now, that's important because what's important, there's two things. Number one, she's figured out that the customer punishes her for what the customer said was okay. Very standard with customers, clients, patients, etc. But here's the other thing. She knows what her regular tip is. She doesn't know what the store-wide tip is. She doesn't necessarily know what the average in the industry is. She knows what her average tip is. And that is really important. I mean, there's like I said, there's 15 of these here. We covered 2 of them or 3 of them or whatever it was. I was really thrilled. We're going to be doing a full training on this and how every business owner can put this to work. But she actually has created scripts. She knows she knows her numbers as far as her standard tip. She has kept track of when I say this, then they react well, and my tip is on the higher end. And when I say this, they don't react well. And she is a chameleon in many ways, in that if she goes into a professional play, if she goes in and the people just want to have a server at arm's length, then that's what she does. And if they want to have a friend to chit chat and have a good time with, that's what she does. She delivers what the customer wants. And she tracks, and she knows her numbers, and she knows what works for her and what gets her more money. So my question is, if a 20-year-old server with sales training but no practical sales experience can figure this out, then why don't you know your numbers? Don't lie to me. I know that I know my numbers. I know how much I sell a year. I know how much my average sale is. Okay, fine. If you know your numbers, get on the phone with me. We'll spend 10 minutes, and you'll realize how very well you don't know your numbers. So anyway, I'm not trying to shame you. I'm just trying to bring a little, just realize people are out here doing this. If when my daughter is 25 or 30 and decides that she wants to open a business, if she opens a business in your niche, she's going to clean your clock unless you get your shit together. And she's only one of millions out there, millions of kids up and coming out there who are doing great things and who are getting the underlying experience they need to do great things. So get out there and get to work, as Mark Cuban says, and I don't really care for Cuban too much, but as he says, work every day like someone's trying to take it away from you. So till next time, cheers.